On players fighting till the end. Seems like he's lost his spark. I know it's Kara's favourite player. That's why I ask. So can you answer that one, Jamie?
Yes, I mean, Liverpool's front three is unique, really, in some ways, in that they've been, the numbers, this is the first season, this is when Mo Salah came in and the numbers were off the scale. And so were Mo Salah's that season. I think he got 47 goals. And when we talk about this Liverpool team, we talk about the front three. It's almost like they come as a package. I mean, I think this is a lovely touch here from Firmino. And that's what sums you up. You know, Salah and Mane are almost the goal scorers. Firmino's the man who drops in, works for the team, creates goals, have you just seen there for Salah, this time for Mane. And what I would say is, I was thinking about this today, and front threes, and why I say Liverpool are unique, not that they're better than other front threes, it's how long they've stayed together. They're now in the 4th season. And the great front threes in the Premier League have normally only been 2 or 3 years. I'm just going to show a clip, but just one thing I want to mention is, the last time Liverpool won the league, late 80s, or 1990, but the team that won the league in 1988 is remembered as Barnes, Beardsley, Aldridge. A little bit like this team, you remember the front three. That front three was only together for 2 years, and that's still talked about now. This front three will be talked about in 15, 20 years' time. They brought the title back. They've been amazing. I just want to look now at other Premier League attacks. And when I think of Jose Mourinho's first team, you think of Duff and Robben and Drogba through the middle, but certainly Duff and Robben, we just see them there. I'm not too interested really in what the goals are or the minutes per goal, because they're all amazing. These are teams that have won the Championship. Gary speaks about Tevez, Rooney, Ronaldo, possibly the best front three, maybe in the history of Manchester United. Again, Man City, amazing. Sterling, Aguero, Sane. But what they've all got is, we've got 2 years for Chelsea, 2 years for Manchester United, 3 years for Man City. We're now on year 4 with Liverpool. Maybe going to go into year 5. They've all still got maybe 2 or 3 years left on the contract. And what I would say is they're all getting to their late 20s. And sooner or later, that front three will have to be broken up. It will be. You can't get in 2 years' time, say, we're going to buy a new front three and replace them all. At times, it will change. And what I would say is, at this moment, I think Mane and Salah are going through poor form. It happens. There's lots of reasons why Liverpool aren't scoring at the moment. I think even Van Dijk passing from the back, they're losing the sort of counter-pressing in midfield with Fabinho and Henderson not being there. So lots of different things. And also, they're not playing great themselves. But I'm still confident Mane and Salah will start scoring goals again. I must say, I am worried for Firmino. I must say that. He's never been seen as the goal scorer. That's the responsibility of the other two. But he's there to chip in. And when they're not scoring, I just feel like he needs to be a bigger goal threat. Even yesterday, he had a couple of chances, not quite striking the ball right. I also think, obviously, bringing players into the game has sort of dropped off. And also, the counter-pressing and winning the ball back has dropped off, I think, with Firmino. And not just this season. I'm actually going back to last season when Liverpool won the league. And I was a little bit worried then, going and thinking, can he turn it around this season? Now, a lot of teams are pressing a lot less because of the situation with COVID and different things. But I just want to look at Firmino, because, as I said, he's probably the one I'm worried about more. And if there was someone going to be phased out or moved on before the others, I'd probably think it would be Firmino. Jota's came in and obviously put pressure, but he's out at the moment. But I just want to look at the numbers season by season. So we see the games, and that's a great thing with this front three. They're never injured. They play every week. But you look at the goals, just steadily being going down. The minutes per goal, and as I say, that's what I'm talking about actually. Last season, I was a little bit worried for Firmino. You see it there again. Numbers are not great. The big thing that stands out as well, when you think of Firmino, possessions won in the final third. He was the best in the league, Harry. He's probably still one of the best forwards in the league. But you just look at that there, it's a massive drop-off. Almost over 50% from last season. And last season, when he wasn't maybe getting the goals or the assists, you'd say, well, look what he's doing from the front. Now, as I say, I'm sure everyone's numbers pressing has gone down this season. But that, for me, is a big jump. And he's the one I'm more worried about, whether it be in a lack of form or maybe just that slow decline as you get a little bit older, which is natural for any attackers when you get to the late 20s, because they don't play as long as other players on football pitches. And when you talk about changing or evolving as a front three, I don't think there's a better example than Barcelona. And the reason I use Barcelona as an example is because the mainstay is Messi from 2006-07, but these are teams that have won Champions Leagues. And you think of, always play a front three, you know, same as Liverpool. Liverpool have won Champions League, been to another final. This front three brought the league back for Liverpool. So legendary for Liverpool, as some of these players are for their club. But again, look at when they phased them out. Messi, Ronaldinho, Eto'o was a season. Then Thierry Henry, we've had him on the show. That was the Pep era of winning European Cups. They then even changed that and bring Ibrahimovic in, and then Pedro comes in. So that's a big change in 3 or 4 years. You then get possibly the best side I've ever seen in Messi, David Villa and Pedro. I think that game against Manchester United at Wembley. But again, that's there for a season. Then it changes. We have Sanchez for 3 seasons. And then it gets to what I would class as Messi, Neymar, Suarez, as maybe the best front three I've seen. You know, really watching me, you just think, wow, every player feels like... It felt like it was the 3 best players in the world playing together. But again, it's only together for 3 years. And then it gets phased out, it moves on. It's always... Maybe sometimes it's because, you know, a player moves on. Ronaldo goes to Madrid, Neymar goes to PSG. But the longevity is only 3 years. And that's the thing with Liverpool, why I'm saying it's almost unprecedented what they've done. Is how long they've been together and how often they play. And sooner or later, that front three will have to be broken up.
Time to change?
Oh, it's brilliant. I mean, he's lose a couple of games, he's chucking his front three out. I mean, it's... No, I mean, I just... look, he's a lot closer to it than I am, and you've always got to respect that, and he knows what's going on there more than I do. He watches Liverpool more than I do. To me, I feel like it's all under control at Liverpool. They've played non-stop for 3 years. And that 4th year always is the burnout year. It was for us. We won 3 leagues twice, but then we always, that 4th year dipped. So I think that's what we're seeing with Liverpool this year. The 3 years have been unbelievable. Champions League final and going nearly to 100 points. Didn't quite get there, then winning the league last season. This year we're seeing a little dip, and it's natural. I think Jurgen Klopp, to be fair, has already broken up that front three in one way. Not broken them up, he's challenging them, he's supporting them. He's brought Jota in, but Jota's injured. So he could potentially give them a bit of a rest. They don't get a rest. The 2 or 3 players underneath that front three, Shaqiri, Minamino and Origi, are not good enough. So I would say the main problems for Liverpool are not the front three. The main problem for Liverpool is Jota's injury, the fact it's the 4th season of basically running 100 miles an hour, and the 3 beneath them haven't able to be good enough to give them a rest because City have pushed them to the absolute nth degree, and they couldn't rest them because they had to win that title. So for me, it doesn't feel as anything like they should be breaking them up. What they probably need to do is, what they're trying to do is get Jota back so that maybe one of them doesn't have to play every week and they can get a couple of weeks break. I mean, Sir Alex Ferguson never played Ronaldo or Rooney. I mean, Rooney probably did play most of the games, but Ronaldo always got a rest. Giggs always got a rest. Berbatov always got a rest. They always got a 2 or 3 week period. This lot don't rest. They play every single match. I was watching a game against Aston Villa's under-6s about 2 weeks ago, and they're on the pitch. I'm thinking, what are them 3 doing out there? I mean, I think one of them was rested. So for me, I don't see it as any panic whatsoever, but he's closer to it. I mean, if they break them up, great, because I think it'd be difficult to replace them. I still think they've got 2 or 3 years left in them, but they might have to be used differently.
Is that the problem? They play too many games?
No, yeah, listen, you can argue that. They're amazing, and probably similar to when you watch Messi and Ronaldo. It's not the numbers you sometimes look with them. It's they never miss a game. They always play, those players. And I think the top players are probably like that. And listen, I get your point. I think the point with Liverpool is Jurgen Klopp, number one. We've always said they've never had the squad that Man City have got. Probably what United had in the past, where he can afford to rotate. Jurgen Klopp, the year Liverpool won the league last season, Mane played a summer tournament, and the first game of the season, I think we did a Friday night football against Norwich. And Mane was on the bench, I think, in that game. He'd only had a week off, 10 days off. But Jurgen Klopp knew he could never be without Mane or Salah if he wanted to win the league. So this year's different, but the last 2 years, Liverpool almost knew they could only afford to lose 1 game, 2 games to win a title. And the pressure of that for Liverpool or Jurgen Klopp, because City were so good and had raised the bar so high to 100 points, he could never afford to not have them on the pitch. Now, what he's saying is right in terms of the backup's not as good, but Liverpool don't have the financial clout that maybe United have and City have, where they've got these players on the bench, and when you rest it, it's not as big a drop-off. The drop-off for Liverpool is massive. It's massive. So it gets to the stage where, as a manager, you almost can't leave them out. You can't. So I sort of get both arguments. Liverpool would love to have a better squad, but I don't think Jurgen Klopp likes a big squad. I must say that as well. I think he always likes to have players who feel they can play. But I can understand what you're saying. I get it. But I totally understand where Jurgen Klopp's coming from, where he needs those players to play, because without them, they won't be anywhere near as successful if they rotate a lot more.